welcome back to a new episode of Real Spooky Stories, the place where I tell your real spooky stories. If you'd like to share your story, please drop me an email on jade@crypticcoven.uk, or you can get in touch by clicking any of the social media platforms below, including the subreddit Real Spooky Stories with 2 S's, and you can post anonymously on there as well if you want to stay anonymous. But you have joined us for episode 10 of 13 Nights of Christmas. Obviously, I've done another 9 episodes every single day for the past 9 days at 6 p.m. And I will continue this until the 25th of December, Christmas Day, making it to 13 episodes. And these are all Christmas-related spooky stories that I found from Reddit, which will be linked below every episode as usual. Okay, so let's get into today's one. So this is from the subreddit Unexplained and is titled Christmas Spirits. Hey Reddit, I've got a story that has stuck with me for years and I still can't quite wrap my head around it. It happened when I was a kid and to this day it gives me chills whenever I think about it. I'm from the UK and this all started around Christmas when I was about 10 or 11. My grandparents lived together and one night, tragically, my granddad passed away in their home. He suffered a sudden brain aneurysm in the bathroom and just like that, he was gone. It was a heavy time for all of us, especially since it was so close to Christmas. A few days later, I went to stay with my nan at her house to keep her company. Everything seemed normal until, in the middle of the night, the house alarm suddenly goes off. Now, this wasn't unusual back then. Alarms were always set before bed. My nan and I go downstairs to investigate, and what we find still baffles me to this day. In the lounge, there's this Christmas hat, one of those that flashes lights, except there were no batteries in it, none. Yet, there it was, blinking away and somehow setting off the alarm. My nan was shaken, and honestly, so was I, but it didn't stop there. Over the next few weeks, the alarm went off multiple times with no clear explanation. Fast forward a bit, and I'm back at my parents' house with my nan visiting. We're sitting there talking about the strange things that had been happening at our house since my granddad passed. I was young, curious, and a bit naive, so I said, if there's any spirits here, make yourself known. What happened next still gives me goosebumps. The toilet flushed itself. I know how that sounds, believe me, but in the 20 plus years my parents had lived in the house, that toilet had never flushed itself. We all just sat there, stunned. Even now, I can't explain it. Sadly, my nan passed away about a year ago, and I often wonder that if I asked the same question now, would something similar happen? I'm definitely not about to test it, and let's just say I keep all flashing Santa hats far away from the house. Thanks for reading. Has anything like this ever happened to anyone else? Somebody's commented, it sounds like a loving spirit saying hello. The OP has commented back, yes, I wouldn't consider myself a spiritual person usually. However, I remember, even at that young age, looking at the broken wires on the hat and there being no battery. There wasn't any way it could light up and we tried for days. Then the toilet flushing at the exact moment after asking that question. I understand that coincidences are a thing, but it just feels like it's too much of a coincidence. I'm really thrown off by what happened, even though I'm almost 30 now, and still leaves me wondering. Oh, that sounds really nice. I like the way this is in the Unexplained subreddit and not like paranormal one. So it's kind of like, was it paranormal? I mean, it's quite clearly paranormal. Like the vibe is like this was a paranormal thing, but I think it feels like it was your granddad as well. After you, only a few days later after he passed away, you went to stay with your nan and then this happened. And it's like it was only when you were there, like didn't happen before that. I don't know, it might be someone's obviously trying to get yours and your nan's attention. And the house alarm going off in the middle of the night would make me so scared. I literally probably wouldn't even get out of bed. I'll just look on the camera to see, but I literally would be so scared. I just feel like the house alarm itself is a scary noise to hear, especially in the middle of the night. And then if you go down and see like a Santa hat flashing, which didn't have any batteries in, that is scary as well. And the toilet flushing by itself, you could have literally knocked on a wall or something. Why flush the toilet? That's just wasting water. But if your granddad was a bit of a joker, then fine. But I know that was a little short and sweet one, but that was episode 10, and I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you tomorrow for episode 11 of 13 Nights of Christmas. Thank you so much for listening, and goodbye.